YouTube fam, so I'm here with you. I'm here today with you guys to do a book review on this book. It's addictive, but I have to be honest, I didn't love it. I didn't love it, but I didn't dislike it. It's kind of right there in the middle in this little sweet spot. I have given this 3 stars. If you haven't already read this book, it came out a hot minute ago, like a year ago. I'm late. A Court of Thorns and Roses is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I really enjoy retellings. When I first heard it was a retelling, I totally thought of Marissa Meyer, and I thought of Cinder and that whole Lunar Chronicles that I absolutely love. But this is by Sarah J. Maas, who I love even more. Throne of Glass, that series, I freaking gobbled it up, and I can't wait for the 5th book to come out. It's coming out in a few months. So needless to say, when I did find out about A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury, I was really excited and really pumped to read this book. In the beginning, it was really slow for me. It took me a while to really get into this book. So as much as I love Sarah J. Maas, I do have to say that this was not half as good as Throne of Glass. Some things I really enjoyed about this book is the history of the world that's been created with the fairies and the humans. There was like a war at one point, there was slavery, and we can continue to see how it shapes people's minds and their actions. Okay, spoiler people, I'm so sorry. It was a really short description, but it's because there's just only so much I can say, and I need to start talking about the book and the meat of the story, and I want to get into the book. So if you haven't read this book yet, please go check it out. It's pretty decent. Make sure once you have read it though, you come back, check out my review. Tell me if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Just talk to me about the books. I'll see you guys when you finish. Bye, spoilery people. Bye. Feyre and Tamlin. I want to talk about Feyre and Tamlin. I thought their relationship was very well paced. To me, there was no insta love. We see from the beginning her fear. We see why it starts to change. She still was like resistant to him when they first met. He would do things to help her warm up a little bit to him. Then they started laughing and flirting and joking, and I thought it was believable how they fell for each other. The thing that was fast to me was the sex. It came out of nowhere. I had no idea it was gonna go there, but it went there, you guys. I've been really trying. When I was reading those scenes, like I was okay, this is happening right now. I swear, I'm reading this book and I like was so shocked and surprised they took it as far as they took it. Let's get it on. This is young adult, right? Isn't this is young adult? That was all adult right there. And I mean, okay, I have to be honest. Sarah's a talented writer. The writing definitely had me feeling some type of way, but I enjoyed it, you know. I mean, I enjoyed it. The whole scene when Tamlin comes back after catching Feyre's scent, pins her against the wall, and like, Sarah's a good writer. Tamlin's all like, I won't be able to control myself. And I have to admit, I think that's really hot. I know a lot of people were saying it's encouraging a rape culture, that's problematic. Maybe I'm what's wrong with the world. I like Tamlin and Feyre, but they just seem very boring, blasé, just bam, here they are. Because this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, I pictured the Beast. But also because he has a mask that's like glued to his face, this is what came up to mind. I tried to stop it from happening. It's such a goofy looking image, but you know, this is my brain and this is how it works. The whole time I read about Tamlin, this is what I pictured. All of this. I couldn't go back. I couldn't revert my mind to thinking anything different. So the whole Maas/Beast thing made some very not funny moments into very funny moments. Like some of the sex scenes. There's just some things that can't be done when you have that mask on. Or if you try to do them, it seems really unpleasant to me. I read a lot of things where people were talking about how problematic they found the relationships to be. The men are just too dominating. Talk about Rhysand. I love Rhysand's character. He's just so complex. He's one of the most complex characters in this book. I'm really interested to learn so much more about him. I know people are shipping him and Feyre, which I am not doing. I don't think Rhysand and Feyre will be good together. I love Rhysand as a separate entity. I enjoy him, but him and Feyre together is problematic to me. I can't ever root for them being together simply because of everything he's done to her thus far. I'm sorry, like drugging her every single night, going through her thoughts and spilling her secrets. When he forced himself on her, I know he did it so that Amarantha would not notice that her and Tamlin had been together. I still was not okay with how he did that. I'm not rooting for Rhysand and Feyre, but I do want to see more of Rhysand. first thing I want to say is when we start this book, we see the family, we see the relationships. I really like the hate/love between the sisters and the father and how they interact with one another. Very realistic to me, especially knowing how it evolves. I think it's so real. It is so believable. I loved it. My family, we love each other, but y'all know it's a thin line, okay? It's a thin line. That's my sister. You see what I'm talking about with family issues? No, I'm just kidding. Thin line, you guys. When Amarantha had the final task and she told Feyre to kill these 3 people and she brings them out and they have bags on their head, was I the only person thinking that, oh my god, this is her family? 3 people, her dad and her 2 sisters. I totally thought it was gonna be like that. I'm really glad it wasn't like that. I enjoy her sisters and the dynamics, and I want to see what's going to continue happening, especially since they gave more depth to Nesta. Nesta, you know, she didn't believe in Tamlin's story and the glamour he put on her, and he went looking for her, and she found out, like, Feyre turning into High Fae at the end. That did not surprise me. She's been nothing but trouble since she's been a human in this world of High Faes, in this world of fairies. Now I feel like if she's gonna stay with Tamlin, if this series is gonna continue, like she's gonna have to be able to help and do more than just sit on the sideline. So I think it makes a lot of sense, the most sense for her to become High Fae. I'm excited to see what that's gonna look like. I'm not so excited for this little soul tie thing she has going on with Rysand. Just feeling kind of iffy about like her having to see him every week. I feel like Sarah J attempted to start a love triangle, and that's what's gonna happen with Feyre having to be the first week of every month with Rysand, and I don't really want to read that. I'm sure if anyone can pull it off, it's her, because when I was reading Throne of Glass and reading that whole series, did not want a love triangle to happen, but it happened, and it was done so beautifully that if anyone does a love triangle, I'm trusting Sarah J Maas to do it and do it properly. Oh my goodness, okay, did anyone else find this book to be so intense? There's so many moments where they just really took me by surprise. I couldn't believe the level of violence right at the end. Tamlin freaking stabs Amarantha in the face. Not the chest, not the arm, the leg, not even her heart. She gets stabbed in the face. I knew she was gonna die. She had to die, but it was just bam, right in her head. He went straight through her face, you guys. And then he rips out her throat. Oh, look at that double chin right there. It just really took me by surprise, a lot of the violence. So many moments of like, I mean, overall, I gave the book 3 stars. There were things that I definitely liked about it. It's a very promising story. It was very entertaining. It was an addictive read. It was a quick read, but you know, there were a lot of things I found problematic. There was just so much disbelief in reading this story, which kept me from connecting to it on a deeper level. Like, okay, first thing, Feyre kills the wolf who turned out to be Fae, which is completely believable. Tamlin shows up at her door ready to kill somebody. But when he said like, oh yeah, your punishment is that you have to live with me, I was like, what? Like, that just didn't make any sense to me. Like, her punishment is to live with you. Okay. Feyre, she was even in disbelief. She was just like, oh, this means I'm going to be living as a slave. This means I'm going to be tied in a dungeon and blah, blah, blah. And she had all these thoughts, which I really enjoyed because they were my thoughts too. And it made it a little more believable. But I thought it was really random. But I was like, you know what? Forget it. This is just what needs to happen for the story to continue, for the plot to progress. So let's go with it. She's living with Tamlin. She meets Lucien. I really like Lucien. Oh, Cauldron spammy. After learning about his past and the Lucian's always cock blocking. If I catch you the moon, can I get a kiss? Like, he got to bring out different sides of Tamlin and Feyre, since she kind of bonded and linked with him first as a friend. Because the love story was so well paced out and they did such a good job with that, I feel like the book, it kind of fell apart in other ways. Like, I was very interested in learning more about the different courts, the fairies, just the politics. I wanted to know more about that. Whole world building, although intriguing, it just kind of proved to be lackluster to me. Now we have Feyre, who is constantly being glamored. She's constantly thinking things are one way, but they are in fact a different way. That was kind of frustrating and unnerving because we're hearing things from her point of view. And so because the characters are in this predicament where they can't reveal what's happening, Feyre goes to the very end not knowing what's happening, and then when they finally reveal what's happening, it's just through a monologue. I thought that was a lazy way to do it. Just through Alice talking about it, it was just like, oh, okay. And it was just like things were just being revealed. Amarantha is the blight. Boom. She's the thing threatening the human race. Boom. She took out Lucien's eye. Boom. and she cursed Tamlin. The curse entails that he has to have a human wife, one who hates our kind, and one that has killed one of his men. Are you kidding me? This is just getting ridiculous now. There was just too many moments where I thought that this was just too coincidental, too ridiculous, too many moments where it wasn't believable. It's a fast-paced book, easy book to read. It's enjoyable, although problematic. So, I mean, all in all, like I said, I enjoy it. I gave it 3 stars, and I'm really excited to continue reading the other ones, like, because it has such great potential, and I'm excited to see where they're going to take it. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say for today. Love you guys, peace out. My name is Ashley Q, and